Welcome, Peace Vigilantes. I'm here with Kyle McSweegan, a longtime activist that I know from the States, and who's been living in Iraqi-occupied Kurdistan for the last 5 years or so. Kyle, what took you to Kurdistan?
Well, I actually had an interest from films, mostly Iranian films, but then I started seeing some Kurdish ones, and I was working for a Kurdish professor at Georgetown, and I wanted to travel, so I found a job teaching English.
Nice. And what did you find when you got there? I know you were someone who was opposed to the Iraq War. What were you expecting to see in Kurdistan, and what did you actually see?
To be honest, I was expecting more hostility, but
hostility towards you because you're American.
Yeah, you know, it comes with the territory, but people, people really love the American policy there. You know, while the Americans have betrayed Kurds elsewhere, in Turkey, in Iran, they've been they've been a boon to the Kurds in Iraq.
Sure. Did you have many dealings with non-Kurdish Iraqis or Iranians or people of other nationalities?
Sure. My roommate, the first guy I met, actually is half Kurdish, half Arab. He grew up in Baghdad, at a time when he wasn't open about being Kurdish, but he also experienced some pushback in Kurdistan because he didn't speak Kurdish very well growing up in Baghdad, and people...
Kurdish was not allowed to be taught outside of... in fact, inside Kurdistan as well.
That's right. So he kind of got it from both sides. And I had Arab staff from Lebanon, co-workers, and plenty of other Arabs. More recently, IDPs and students of mine. Yeah, I've been teaching adults in the last couple of years. So yeah, people from Mosul, people from Karach, lots of other places.
Sure. So, like I say, we hear a little bit about the situation in Kurdistan. We hear a lot about the situation in Iraq. We hear a lot about the situation in Syria, obviously. What is the situation on the ground? What are you hearing from people who know what's going on? I know you have friends even who may have worked with security companies and so on. What are you hearing about what the prospects for peace, for resolution of this conflict might look like?
Well, as you know, we're well into the process to retake Mosul, but it's displacing a lot more people, so they've opened up a couple newer camps.
So Mosul is the ISIS-controlled capital of Kurdistan.
That's right. About 30 kilometers from the Kurdish region proper, and the areas in Nineveh that directly abut Mosul are traditionally Christian areas. So we've met a lot of the people coming, Christians, Yazidis. We've all seen it in the news. But these days, I'm not there, but I have friends that work for the agencies, and they're saying there's a lot of people coming.
Is it really that simple? Is it really ISIS versus everyone else? Is that really what the conflict looks like right now, or is it more? Are there different factions fighting within ISIS and different factions?
Well, it's interesting. There are skirmishes that break out in the refugee camps between different sectarian groups, between Yazidis and Muslims. I've seen where they've had to build separate facilities to separate them because there have been issues. And there's also political issues within the Kurdish side. PKK aligned people versus people more aligned with Barzani's KDP, and even within we have Peshmerga aligned with the PUK, and they don't always get along in the field. And then the YPG, and it's an alphabet soup.
So how do we deal with this alphabet soup? I mean, for us, for me, if I speak as a U.S. citizen now, there's so much. It's so murky. It's so dirty. When we talk about Iraq, when we talk about Syria right now, what can we do to be in solidarity? It's such a mess. Unless you're politically aligned with a very specific faction.
Right.
I don't want to support the U.S. and I don't want to support ISIS. So what am I supposed to do?
Well, there's a group. It's the Popular Democratic Forces of Syria. That's like the umbrella group that includes the YPG, and they're the most. They say they're the most effective fighters over there. They've got the most experience, and they really are a non-sectarian. I mean, they're Kurdish in character, but they include Arab elements and Christian elements, and I mean, they're theirs is the flag that I fly in my house. And I've had a lot of students that have come from Rojava that have been aligned with them, and that's the most positive force out there.
The problem with some of these popular forces in the Arab region, so if we talk about Barghouti, Mustafa Barghouti, Marwan Barghouti in Palestine, for example.
Yeah.
These folks had a fantastic, I think, politics, but they weren't necessarily, maybe it's too early, I don't want to judge, they weren't able to really mobilize. They weren't able to mobilize around the leader. They weren't able to gel. They weren't even able to fight armed wars effectively. Right? So
and of
in
course,
Palestine, it's the religious elements that have been more effective than tribal.
And there's still this cult of personality around Öcalan, who's still a very influential figure, but he's in jail, and
Sure.
and there's
Öcalan was arrested in 2000 or 1999, something like this.
I think it was like 99.
Okay. He's for many years he led the armed Turkish resistance, the PKK, from the mountains against the Turkish army.
And they've built a prison just for him.
Really?
On an island.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean
Wow.
it's quite severe.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean those are very good questions. I know of a lot of solidarity activism going on in Rojava.
Yeah.
A lot of Germans and other nationalities I've read and spoke to that have gone to visit. But of course, those opportunities are limited unless you're going to go and fight with the YPG. And some Americans have gone and died fighting with them.
Sure.
And they're well respected, even in the areas that aren't politically, simpatico.
I see. So Kyle, now you're going back to the States after 5 or 6 years of living abroad.
Yeah.
You're immersed in the politics of the region. You're immersed in the politics of the Middle East. You taught children. You have lots of experience now working with people who speak Arabic, people who speak Kurdish, people who maybe speak Farsi as well. What's your plan when you get back to the States? What are you hoping to do?
Well, you may recall last year when a number of governors, states in the U.S. vowed to reject any and all Syrian immigrants in particular, but immigrants generally. And as it happens, my state of Connecticut agreed to take the Syrians that Indiana wouldn't, for example. So Mike Pence said no, Malloy in my state said yes. And there are a couple nice grassroots organizations in my state, one of which is IRIS, Integrated Refugee Services. And I'd like to help them work with Syrian Iraqi asylees. So, yeah.
Kyle, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
تبزير وأموري بحفر عنوانه أزد بقرب سرجيك